Welcome to Foregone Trails. Today we're talking about this puppy, Ram 1500. Let's get to it. How did I point this way? Let's get to it. This is it. My name's Tyler, and let's talk about how to replace a wheel hub. Time out. Now, if you click this video to see exactly how to do this repair, this is not that video. I am not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
What I am trying to do is let you know if this is a repair that is worth your time, how much difficult I thought it was, and if you should take it to a shop or not. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Well, here it is. This is my Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. This is my tow pig. This is what I use to haul my Jeep all across the country, all over the place. With all the mileage I've put on it over the last few years, it definitely is in need of some maintenance. And the big piece of maintenance I need to address with this is the wheel hub. Now, what are some signs for your wheel hub going bad? A few of the signs that your wheel hub is going bad is that sometimes you'll hear a constant kind of howling noise. It's just a whoo. That was a good one, huh? But you'll hear a noise. I can't really replicate it, but maybe it's a little bit of a grinding. Oftentimes it'll get louder with speed. So the faster you're going, the louder it'll get because that wheel hub is spinning faster and faster. Another thing that you might be experiencing a little bit is uneven tire wear in your front tires. Again, with that wheel hub going bad, that tire is not going to spin true. So you're going to start to get a little bit of uneven tire wear. The vehicle might not be holding an alignment. So it might start pulling really bad to one side or the other. And you might go get it aligned and that alignment doesn't hold, doesn't take. You might have some issues with braking, or you might just have a little bit of all of the above when it comes to a bad wheel hub. Now, there are a few ways you can check this. If it's really, really bad, oftentimes you can jack it up and you can spin it and you can kind of hear those bearings in the wheel hub grinding, making some really awful noises. You can also grab the top and bottom of the wheel and pull it back and forth, and then it should have a lot of play in that tire. And if so, then that means your wheel bearing is going bad. All right, now let's go ahead and jump in on how to fix this. After that, let's talk about whether or not this is a repair that you should tackle yourself or take it to a mechanic. The ultimate wrench or wallet dilemma. So the tools you're going to need for this project are a jack, boop, 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 boop. All right, so you're gonna need a jack. You'll need a jack stand. Secure the vehicle, keep it up out of the way. You are gonna need a pitman arm puller, something to remove the ball joint from the knuckle so that you'll have access to the back of it. You'll need a wrench, and this is a 21mm socket. If your truck is four-wheel drive like mine is, you're also gonna need a 36mm socket. I also choose to use a trusty impact. This makes a world of difference getting that nut off of the CV axle shaft that comes out and through the wheel hub. So this will be really important. Now that you have all the tools that are needed, the only thing missing is your can-do attitude. Okay. I know I said this isn't going to be a how-to, but I think it's important that you see I do know how to do this and that I did take the time to actually install a new wheel hub on this truck. So the first thing I had to do was go ahead and jack the truck up. Then I'm going to take that tire off for the wheel hub that I'm going to be working on so I have access to all of that. Then it's really important that you go ahead and make sure that the vehicle is secure. Use a few jack stands, get things where they need to be, and don't support it on the A-arm. Because here in a few minutes, what we're going to do after we have the wheel off and it's supported, we're then going to go ahead and remove the brake caliper. And so that removal of the brake caliper, get that out of the way. That's where those 21mm sockets are going to come into play. Then secure that caliper to your control arm so that it doesn't fall down. You're then going to just go ahead and slide the rotor off of the wheel hub assembly. And then where we're at, if you have a four-wheel drive, you're going to go ahead and remove that CV axle spindle nut with that 36mm socket. And again, I used an impact for this. That's going to allow us to have some freedom to move around. After that is done, you'll go ahead and unplug the wheel hub just so you don't forget to do that. There's a few clips. This shows you how to do it. You can do it with one hand if you really mess with it. So it's not really complicated. Just get that red piece out of the way and you'll be good to go. Once all of this is done, then the important piece comes of going ahead and removing that upper control arm from from the knuckle. I tried to tap it a little bit with a hammer just to see if it would come off, but these are aluminum knuckles. I didn't want to cause any permanent damage. So that's where I moved to that Pitman arm puller. Just make sure you get one that'll fit. The dimensions on it are a little bit tricky, but once it's in there, it just pops right out. That was something I was hoping to get away with. Part of what took me so long to do this repair in the first time was I was hoping I could just access the 3 bolts on the back of the wheel hub without actually pulling this whole assembly apart. I wasn't able to do that, and so just do it, knock it out. It'll make the rest of the process go quite a bit quicker, because once that's removed, you'll then have access to the 3 bolts on the back of the hub. You'll take those 3 bolts out, you'll be able to pull the wheel hub off, and then everything will reassemble just as it came off. So you'll take that, put the 3 bolts in the back of the wheel hub, torque those to spec, tighten down the spindle nut, torque that to spec, reattach the upper control arm, torque it down, and then put your tire back on, lower it back down on the ground, and you're ready to go. So everything that you did, you just do it in reverse, make sure everything's tightened the way it should be, and you'll be good to go with your wheel hub replacement. Something to consider as well, if this is something you want to DIY, this is a great time for you to replace those upper and lower ball joint bushings, any other bushings that might be going bad, or even that CV axle. These are going to be a great opportunity while you have it all pulled apart to replace those additional pieces. All right, well, now that you've seen that I actually know how to tear this apart, let's see what it would cost from a shop. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and call a few different automotive repair shops here local to me, get a quote, see how much it'll cost if I just take the truck and drop it off to them to do this entire repair. So that's gonna be really important, because I wanna understand how much it would cost if they just do it all, and then I wanna understand how much it's gonna cost me and how much time it's gonna take me to go ahead and do the repair myself. Let's go ahead and call a shop here local and see what they'll quote us to do the repair on this truck.
Automotive, this is Michael. Can you hold, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Nice.
Get your hands relaxed.
This is Michael. May I help you?
Hey, Michael. I was just wanting to see how much it would cost to have a wheel hub replaced on a 2016 Ram 1500.
Is it four-wheel drive?
Yes.
Do you know if it's a Bighorn, Laramie, Lone Star?
It's a Laramie.
Four-door?
4-door, yep.
3.0?
It's got the Eco Diesel.
Yeah. Okay. Just one side?
Yeah, just the driver's side.
You'd be looking at $481.96.
And then how soon could you guys get us in?
I can knock it out tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you for calling. My name is Chris. How can I help you?
Hey, Chris. I was wanting to see how much it would cost to get a wheel hub installed for a 2016 Ram 1500.
You know, it's a Bighorn Express, Laramie.
It's a Laramie. It's a 4-wheel drive, and it's a Eco Diesel.
And we're looking at the front or rear?
Front driver.
All right, there's quite a few hubs to choose from. I'm just going to choose the one that's in the middle.
Okay.
About a $40 difference, lower or higher, so I'll
Okay.
just go down the middle through here. So it looks like the wheel bearing, middle of the range kind of hub assembly would run you $643 even. Sorry, after tax.
Okay. And then how soon could I get it in?
Would you be able to drop it off with me?
Yeah, it's pretty possible.
Oh yeah, then you can. We can do it as early as tomorrow, and I can get that ordered. Well, I would really prefer reps to do an inspection first, just make sure we can get the right one,
Okay.
and then call you back, confirm the price with you, and then get it ordered. But
Okay.
most of these we can get same day, so.
Okay, perfect. 481.96, 643 even. Those are the two quotes that I'm just going to go with. I'm assuming that's going to be pretty accurate across a number of different shops. Both of them looked like they could get me in as early as tomorrow. They could order the parts, have it here the next day. You know, I could have my truck up and running as quick as tomorrow. Now, if I go ahead and order the parts, which I did, that took me a couple days for those parts to get in because I ordered them offline to get the best deal. However, I did look for a wheel hub assembly local, and they were available at the local parts store. All of that is ready to go. So really, it wouldn't matter if I took it to the shop or did it myself. Either way, I could get it done tomorrow. If I have the time personally, I could do it. If not, I would just have to wait until I have a day available to go ahead and knock this out. The moment you've all been waiting for is here. Is this project worth taking on yourself or taking it to a shop? Should you wrench it or should you wallet it? We'll have to work on that catch line. Here's what I found out. It cost me $200 for wheel hubs, and that was for 2 wheel hubs, so one for each side, $200 in parts. It took me an hour and a half of my time to finish 1 hub, so I didn't need both wheel hubs replaced, just the driver's side, and so that took me an hour and a half. Double that, take me 3 hours of my time and $200, and I have 2 brand new wheel hubs. Now, there were a few hurdles that I had to overcome. It was a little bit difficult accessing the backside of the wheel hub. These Ram 1500s are not super user-friendly. Some of the other ones I've done on other vehicles are really accessible, but this one took a little bit of work, getting that ball joint off the top, getting that knuckle separated, getting that CV axle out of the way, and then retorquing everything back, getting it all put back together. Overall, it wasn't an extremely difficult task, but it did take a little bit of effort. It took a little bit of know-how and a few special tools, but nothing really crazy. You know, I think for the cost difference, you could almost purchase most of the tools that I needed, especially the specialty ones, and offset the cost for the mechanic to do that repair. Now, I will say this is not professional advice. I'm not telling you what to do. This is just my experience and my recommendation. With the mechanic side of it, the average cost for the 2 shops that we called was $568. And so that alone on one side is, what is that? 2, 3 times, 4 times as much as it would cost if you just did it yourself. Well, it'd be 5 times as much. It's 5.6 times because it cost me $100 to do one side. So you think about that, it's a 5 times the cost. However, mechanics have a lot more knowledge. They have the expertise, the specialty tools. They can do all of these things, and you are paying for that. As you noticed, hopefully in one of the shops we called, they actually mentioned, they said, hey, bring it in, let us diagnose it. So in the beginning of the video, I mentioned these are some of the signs, the symptoms to know if that wheel hub's bad. But in all honesty, you might not know. Maybe you're not familiar with it. Even myself, you know, sometimes I'm like, is this really right? And I just know for $100, I'll just throw it at it and hopefully it's the correct thing to replace. But you know, it did take me an hour and a half of my time. And so you really need to consider, how much is your time worth? Are you going to be able to actually complete it that quickly? How much mechanical experience do you have? And all of those things are really going to factor into whether or not you should tackle this project or not. For me, I would say wheel hubs are a project that's definitely worth it. It's right there with brakes, a few other projects that I like to tackle, but I would say for only $100, an hour and a half of my time, and having a wheel hub replaced, it's a project that I would tackle again and again to save myself, you know, $450. I hope that you enjoyed seeing what it took to replace a wheel hub on this Ram 1500, learning my opinion on whether or not this is a project that you should tackle. And if there's something else, you know, with the Jeepster, a lot of my projects are custom. It's not really something that I have a choice to take it to a shop because a lot of them don't want to touch a custom project. But if there's other projects that you would like to see a Wrench Your Wallet episode on and figure out whether or not it's a project that you should tackle yourself, or if you should leave it to the professionals, leave a comment below and let me know.